Archaeologists have uncovered a section of mosaic flooring in Roman Pompeii that was abandoned following the earthquake of AD 62. Pompeii was a Roman city, located in the modern commune of Pompeii near Naples, in the Campania region of Italy. Pompeii, along with the Roman town of Herculaneum, were buried under 4 to 6 meters of volcanic ash and pumice during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79. In AD 62, the region was struck by an earthquake that had a magnitude of V to V on the Mercalli scale. The maximum felt intensity is estimated to have been in the range of X to X, resulting in severe damage to buildings in Pompeii and the surrounding region. A bas-relief found in the lararium of the house of Lucius Caecilius Iacundus depicts the events, showing damage to the city and Pompeii's Temple of Jupiter. Recent excavations involving archaeologists from the Archaeological Park of Pompeii, the Freie Universität Berlin, and the University of Naples Lorientale have revealed a section of mosaic flooring off the Via dell'Abbondanza, the main street, Decumanus Maximus, which passed through the city. The mosaic is part of the flooring of a domestic domus, where the Stabian baths would later be constructed in the 2nd century AD. The domus was flattened in the years following the earthquake, and the area was converted for part of the bath complex and several shops. The team were excavating in the western part of the bath complex, in an area known as 3 Taberni, a corridor behind the Natatio swimming pool that leads onto the Vicolo del Lupanar. Below the AD 79 floor level of the corridor, archaeologists found the remains of a white mosaic bordered by a black band with a central polychrome emblem featuring a geometric pattern. The pattern was made with black, white and green tesserae, bordered by a double red and black band, which is a similar design to the opus sectal floors of the cella of the Temple of Apollo, the tablinum of the House of the Faun, and an exedra found in the house of Triptolemus at Pompeii. Gabriel Zuchtragel, director of the project, said, "Thanks to new research by the University of Berlin and the University of Naples, today we can begin to rewrite the history of the block, inserting a further chapter, that of a sumptuous domus with exceptional mosaics and spacious rooms, which occupied the western part of the baths area, until a few decades before the eruption in AD 79. Archaeologists from Columbia University and the Denver Museum of Nature and Science (DMNS) have uncovered a ceremonial hall associated with the Moche culture, containing 1,400-year-old murals depicting two-faced figures. The Moche culture, also known as the Machica culture, is an ancient Andean civilization that flourished from the 1st to the 8th century AD on the northern coast of Peru. The name is taken from the great site of Moche in the river valley of the same name, which appears to have been the capital or chief city of the Moche civilization. Excavations conducted at the archaeological site of Panamarca, an architectural complex constructed between AD 550 to 800 in the Peruvian Ancash region's lower Napina Valley, have revealed adobe walls decorated with 1,400-year-old murals. Murals painted on a pillar depicts two-faced figures, one of which is shown holding a feather fan and a goblet with 4 hummingbirds, while the other figure is holding a feather fan and staff. Other murals have been uncovered in various states of preservation showing individual figures, or one scene that depicts multiple figures, standing alongside an anthropomorphic serpent. Lisa Trevor of Columbia University said, "Panamarca was a place of remarkable artistic innovation and creativity, with painters elaborating on their knowledge of artistic canons in creative and meaningful ways as the people of Napina established their position in the far southern Moche world. Our project has the potential to inaugurate a new period of understanding and appreciation of Moche art, including by contemporary artists who use these ancestral works as inspiration in their own practice," added Trevor. The team has proposed that the mural paintings, together with the evidence of Highland-style textiles and tropical feathers, found alongside locally made ceramics and material culture in the excavations, suggest multicultural relationships and long-distance economies. Archaeologists in Egypt have uncovered 5 4,000-year-old tombs belonging to inner members of the Pharaonic Circle. The walls of the tombs are lined with hieroglyphs depicting sacred animals, urns, and symbols of the afterlife. Archaeologists working at the sprawling ancient necropolis of Saqqara in Egypt just outside Cairo have unearthed 5 ancient tombs that are over 4,000 years old. Some of the tombs date back to Egypt's Old Kingdom, 2700 BC to 2200 BC, while others come the century that followed, which is known as the First Intermediate Period. Each tomb holds the corpses of regional rulers, priests, and senior palace officials, according to Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. All of those 5 tombs are well painted, well-decorated, explained Mustafa Waziri, Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, in an unveiling on March 18, according to the Associated Press. The event marked the first time the general public has been invited to the newly discovered site. Though scholars have been working at the site since last September, the tombs were discovered only earlier this month near the Step Pyramid of Djoser. Accessing them requires a deep descent through burial shafts, the walls of which are lined with well-preserved hieroglyphs, depicting sacred animals, urns, and symbols of the afterlife. At last weekend's event, reporters were lowered down with a wooden winch. Also discovered in the tombs were wooden figurines, pottery, and wooden and limestone coffins. Saqqara has yielded numerous discoveries in recent years, as Egypt continues to pour money into digs, as part of a broader effort to boost the tourism industry. The sector, which had only just started to recover from the pandemic, has been hit hard by the war between Russia and Ukraine, as visitors from those two countries constitute as much as one-third of total visitors to Egypt. Last year, experts uncovered more than 50 burial shafts at the site, including one that belonged to Queen Neret, wife of the first pharaoh of the 6th dynasty, King Teti. "We are planning to continue our excavations," Waziri said at last weekend's event. "We believe that we can find more tombs in this area." Archaeologists from Pre-Construct Archaeology have uncovered an ancient ring ditch during development works of the Dove Valley Park in Derbyshire, England. Evidence of archaeological features were first identified from crop marks and aerial photographs, suggesting the presence of several ring ditches and linear ditches. Excavations have confirmed the existence of the features through a process of trial trenches, where archaeologists conducted a strip, map and sample excavation to fully reveal and investigate the remains. Ring ditches are typically a trench of circular or penannular plan cut into bedrock. The term is most often used as a generic description in cases where there is no clear evidence for the function of the site. For instance, where it has been plowed flat and is known only as a crop mark or a geophysical anomaly. Excavation suggests that the ring ditch is prehistoric in origin, with a similar feature excavated in the vicinity during the 1990s. Dating from the Bronze Age. Archaeologists have interpreted the site as a stock enclosure, an ancient pound for the accommodation of livestock. The study has revealed a possible entrance to the enclosure, with evidence of recutting of the ring ditch. That suggests maintenance of the site and possible longevity of use. The long linear ditch is believed to be a post-medieval boundary for the demarcation of land, running west-east to the north of the ring ditch, PCA archaeologists said. These discoveries add to our understanding of the area's rich history, and provides fascinating insights into the way our ancestors lived and worked. Archaeologists have uncovered 3 bronze swords from the Mycenaean civilization during excavations of a 12th to 11th century BC tomb, discovered on the Trapeza Plateau in the Peloponnese. The Mycenaean civilization was the last phase of the Bronze Age in ancient Greece, spanning the period from approximately 1750 to 1050 BC. The period represents the first advanced and distinctively Greek civilization in mainland Greece, notably for its palatial states, urban organization, works of art and writing system. The tomb was found in a Mycenaean necropolis located in the ancient settlement of Ripes, where numerous chambered tombs were carved into the sandy subsoil. During the first palace period of the Mycenaean era, archaeological evidence suggests that the tombs were repeatedly reopened for burial customs and complex ritual practices. Until the end of the Bronze Age, during the 11th century BC, excavations of the necropolis have revealed numerous vases, necklaces, golden wreaths, seal stones, beads, and pieces of glass, faience, gold, and rock crystal. In the latest excavation, the researchers have been exploring a rectangular-shaped tomb that contains 3 12th century BC burials, adorned with false mouth amphorae. Among the remains are offerings of glass beads, cornelian and a clay horse figurine, in addition to 3 bronze swords, with part of their wooden handles still preserved. All 3 swords belong to different typeset classifications, being D and E of the Sanders topology, which date to the Mycenaean palace period. In the topology, D-type swords are typically described as cross swords, while Class E are described as T-hilt swords. Excavations have also found part of the settlement in the vicinity of the tombs, revealing part of a high-status building with a rectangular room containing a hearth in the center. Archaeologists from the Shaanxi Provincial Institute of Archaeology have uncovered a cemetery dated to the Tang Dynasty in China. The discovery was made in Datong in the Shaanxi province, where 58 tombs belonging to the Middle and Late Tang dynasty were discovered during construction works. The Tang dynasty was an imperial dynasty of China that ruled from AD 618 to 907 AD, with an interregnum between AD 690 and 705. It was preceded by the Sui dynasty, and followed by the Five Dynasties and Ten Kingdoms period. The cemetery consists of small and medium-sized shaft-type tombs, which are rectangular, trapezoidal or irregular in shape, while some are concave-shaped where the deceased's coffin would be placed. In two of the tombs are stone epitaphs dated to AD 795 and AD 810, which are decorated with carvings ringed with the 12 symbols of the Chinese zodiac. Excavations have revealed over 300 artifacts, including tower-shaped pots, numerous bronze mirrors, and several yellow and white glazed jugs, pots and bowls. The mirrors have become discolored over the centuries and are mainly circular in design, with some examples having a floral form. Hu Xiaogang, from the Shaanxi Provincial Institute of Archaeology, said, "This is the largest number of Tang tombs excavated in Datong. It provides an accurate basis for the age and provides important information for understanding the politics, economy, culture, and funeral customs of Yunzu in the Tang dynasty. In addition, the epitaphs are rich in content and have high historical value, which is of great significance to the study of local officials in the Tang dynasty and the Chenglifang system in Yunzu." Archaeologists have uncovered an ornate brick-chambered tomb from the Jin dynasty in the Shaanxi province of China. Excavations were conducted by the Shaanxi Provincial Institute of Archaeology near the village of Dingfengshan in Yuankou County, as a result of construction works for a new pipeline. The tomb dates from the Jin dynasty, a period officially known as the Great Jin, that existed from AD 1115 until AD 1234. The Jin dynasty was created in modern Jilin and Heilongjiang by the Jurchen tribal chieftain, Aguda. The dynasty continued to rule until the last emperor, Azong, committed suicide by hanging himself to avoid being captured by the Mongols. Archaeologists uncovered a square-shaped brick-chambered tomb constructed with carved bricks that imitates wood. The tomb consists of the main burial chamber, which is accessed by a stepped passageway leading through a corridor from a sealed doorway. The length of the burial chamber measures roughly 2 meters on each side, and reaches a height of 3.4 meters, to form an octagonal roof, with 13 stacked inclining layers of bricks. The north wall of the chamber shows a gatehouse flanked on either side, with a depiction of a man and woman sitting behind tables on ornately carved chairs. The man is shown with a goatee and is wearing a gown with a belt around his waist, while the woman is wearing a double-breasted gown with her hands folded in the sleeves. On the west and east walls are lattice panels or doors, which are carved with flowers on the lower partition. The upper parts of the panels show varying patterns of concave, octagonal, or uniform square shapes. 3 burials were placed in the chamber, consisting of a young child and 2 adults, who died at the age of between 50 and 60 years old. Placed alongside the burials were porcelain bowls, jars, a lamp, and glazed pots. Also uncovered is a land purchase certificate made from brick, with an inscription in calligraphy that roughly translates as Wang Village, with the names of Gongkao and Mingchang. An examination of the certificate dates it to around AD 1190 to AD 1196, during the reign of Emperor Zhangzong of Jin. Speaking on the discovery, the Shaanxi Provincial Institute of Archaeology said, "The excavation of this tomb has enriched our understanding of the Jin dynasty in the southern Shaanxi area. The land purchase certificate has a clear date which provides an accurate basis for the dating of other tombs in the same period."